hardcore is the pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon. Gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
No power in the verse can stop me.
What's going on, guys? My name is Elder Naro, and welcome to the brink of annihilation.
It's an
Elden Naro.
I didn't have time to think about it.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why I do that. We should do like a test someday where we all just type stuff that someone has to read out.
I did.
Yeah, shut up.
Listen, read mine.
Fuck off, Joe.
Yeah, he's got it there. Alright, it's episode 42, we decided. We kind of got there using a formula to come up with what episode number this is. And we have no topic for today, so yay!
Yay!
How have you guys been? How are things? How's the family?
Terrible.
Regular.
Everyone died.
Did anyone see any good movies recently?
What did I watch last week? I watched Interstellar again, and I got it a bit more this time,
Oh, did you?
which is good news, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting movie, like, because half the, like, people who watched it that like sci-fi kind of thought that it was a bit too spoon-fed, and then people who have no idea about like sci-fi movies, who wouldn't ordinarily watch sci-fi movies, were just like, what the fuck?
What just happened?
Yeah, if you watch a lot of sci-fi movies, you can pretty much see, sort of, he describes exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what they're talking about in pretty much it. Like, this scene where he draws the, actually probably shouldn't really spoil anything because it's still a relatively new movie. But yeah.
Let's just say you can see the strings.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the planets is actually just a bunch of dogs sellotaped together, and it's really weird.
You notice one of them barking.
Yeah.
The final scene, like Bradley Cooper is literally holding a fake baby. It's so weird. It's such a strange movie. Lucemoore, you saw San Andreas, didn't you?
I did, yeah. It's good. The California goes implodes.
California goes pop.
California goes.
Yeah, no, it's good. I've pretty much watched anything with a rock in it at this point. So
He's in so many movies, though.
yeah, but it's
Actually,
good. It's so good.
Scratch that. He's in so many terrible movies, though.
Yeah, well, in the beginning he was, wasn't he? I think lately he's got a decent.
True, yeah. I thought Walking Tall was atrocious, but that is like literally his first blockbuster, I think. So, well, I say blockbuster. That's not what I mean at all when I say that.
No, like he basically in the last few years he's done like the Fast and Furious movies, and
oh, those are really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was actually like last week I was in this house that had a cinema in it, and we were watching movies on the cinema screen, and someone went on like one of my pals went on those websites where, you know, they upload movies from torrent sites even if they're brand new stuff that's like still in the cinema, and he put on the Fast and Furious, the latest one, but it was like shot by a fucking camera, so I watched like the first 5 minutes and then I was like, nah, I can't do this. It's so frustrating to watch a movie that's been literally filmed at a cinema when you're watching it in a cinema. How many times did I say cinema in that sentence?
Too many
Not
times.
enough. Say it again.
I watched The Kingsman last week.
What's that?
Ah, so did I actually. Yeah.
Is that the spy movie?
Sort of, yeah. Well, yeah, it is.
What is
It was a decent film.
Who's in it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was gonna.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't take itself too seriously, and it's.
Who's in it? Tell me stuff about the movie.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it. Colin Firth
is Michael
in it.
Caine in it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Saw the advert for that and thought, nah, don't think so.
Only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
That's
him.
That
I
is
think.
him. Did you see, actually, speaking about
Alright.
movies, a bunch of really bitter nerds who've never seen The Sun are angry because they've cast a black man to play Johnny Storm or the Human Torch in the latest Fantastic Four movie. And
In this day and age,
that's annoying to
that's
people.
impossible.
They're like, oh no, he's white originally. He's supposed to be white. He can't be played by a black man. Like, motherfucker, one of the characters in that is literally a pile of bricks.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you can't just be mad. You can't accept that a universe exists where there's a man walking around who is literally a pile of bricks, but Johnny Storm can't be a black man. Like, he's just flames at the
I wonder
end
what
of
the
it.
reaction will be when Idris Elba gets given a Bond role.
I didn't hear any of what you just said.
I just said I wonder what the reaction will be when Idris Elba gets given the Bond. Which he
Oh
will get.
yeah, yeah. That
I don't
was-
think he will get given Bond, but I think that'll be way more out of control than the Johnny Storm thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
because
not-
a black man
yeah.
can't be quote quintessentially British end quote.
Well, the fact that 6 different people have played Bond and they all look differently, very different. They don't look anything like each other, really. I mean, Pierce Brosnan kind of looks a bit like Sean Connery, maybe, but Daniel Craig doesn't look like any of them. You know?
Who would your dream James Bond? Actually, I think it's not even worth. I hate James Bond. He's fucking terrible. Like every movie is just stupid. And although to be fair, I haven't seen any of the gritty reboot ones with Daniel Craig, but
He's
I
actually
think
pretty good
Richard
at
Keys would be the best Bond.
Bond.
yeah, banter, not stir.
Or some Newcastle fan who just punches horses. Like,
Yeah. Because instead of a horse, well, he could punch a horse and he could like punch like.
if you can punch a horse, you can punch a spire.
Yeah, I do remember actually Daniel Craig becoming James Bond and everyone being mad at that too because he had blonde hair, so it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
What like?
Well, no, they've done it for years. I mean, they did it with Heath Ledger, didn't they? Like when he got announced as the Joker, they were saying that an Australian actor. Firstly, an Australian actor couldn't play the Joker, and then Heath Ledger, because he wasn't really a serious actor like Jack Nicholson was, that he couldn't somehow play the Joker either. And
What
then
a
now,
joke! Have you never seen A Knight's Tale?
yeah, it's the great. I mean, it won an Oscar, didn't
It
it?
won
For-
seven.
I don't know. I don't know what that role was up against that year for an Oscar. But did he get that basically
Heath
because he
Ledger
died?
won the Oscar. Yeah,
Did he get it basically because he died though? Or
I think. He,
I mean,
Possibly,
it was also a supporting actor, wasn't it?
what year was that?
Yeah.
2008. What other movies came out in 2008 that could have possibly gone up for the Oscar?
I'm just gonna search it right now.
Yeah, you just search it. We'll keep talking. The Ben Affleck as Batman thing as well. That's really fucked people up.
Yeah, but I don't really have a problem. Like,
Ben Affleck is awesome.
yeah, he's
I
great.
don't know why people don't like him. Like, oh, he's not Batman enough. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
He's- like, he looks like a fucking house at the moment, the way he's built as well. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen Gone Girl? He looks like a fucking wrestler in that movie.
Yeah, if you put a batsuit on the guy in that movie, you've got Batman.
Yeah, what you're essentially complaining about is his ability to, like, showcase, what, like, 1/20th of his body from beneath the batsuit. Like, his mouth and nose is not good enough to be Batman. No way. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And remember recently, Thor, it was announced that the latest incarnation of Thor would be a woman.
Yeah.
And that made people really angry. Like,
Because everything that existed before that is now just gone. You can't talk about any of that before. You have to talk about the fact that now Thor is a woman. Which is like, people just forget that they've got like 70 years where Thor was a man and they can still read those comics and read, you know.
yeah. Like,
It's almost like, oh
I
my
kind of
god.
think, like, fuck you if you can accept a world where a man bitten by a radioactive
Yeah.
spider coexists amongst Viking gods. You can't accept that one of them might be a woman. Like,
Yeah.
what?
The only other gender available, and possibly she might be a woman. God forbid she might be a woman.
No,
You know.
it can't be. Like,
No.
Thor is actually a very fucking pretty looking character as well.
Yeah.
With that long blonde hair. It's so stupid that you would get angry about a thing like that. Like, if nothing ever changes direction anyway, everything is just going to be the same over and over. And that's what people are complaining about, is the lack of originality in Hollywood. So,
Yeah.
like, just...
Did you? There was a piece in the paper this week about a woman who started to refer. I don't know if she's a teacher or she's a lady priest or something, but she was starting to refer to God as she rather than God as is he.
A lady
And
priest.
people were like,
Yeah, he did say lady priest.
what's the official term? there?
Priestess.
Priest.
Actually,
Well-
I don't think it is priestess. I think
I think
priestess.
it's just priest.
It might just be priest, Jack. You're right. But
Sexist.
yeah, she referred to the God as she, not he, and people were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that's a thing."
I don't think so.
And you just think,
pal.
well, you know, Jesus.
Did you
Exactly.
see, there was a story quite recently which is actually interesting because we did recently talk about people who die and then see things while they're dead. But there was a story that a Catholic priest died for like 40 minutes or something, and during the process of being dead, he went to heaven and saw God, and God was in fact a woman. And this made everybody really crazy. I'm pretty sure the story turned out to be bullshit anyway, which shouldn't really surprise anybody. But it's not the fact that the story is true or false. It's the fact that the story came out and everyone was like, "Oh, get that guy out of the priesthood. There's no way that God is a woman." Like, how do you know these things? I guess in the Bible it's because God is He with a capital H.
Well,
so-
because a lady can't have a long grey beard.
yeah.
Oh. That's what it is.
That's true. So
Yeah.
many stories like that come out. I wanted. There was one recently that Kim Jong Un sentenced his uncle to death by like, I think he fed him to a pack of lions or something, and then quite recent, like a few months, maybe 2 months ago, he sentenced one of his officials to death by having him like fired with like one of those massive artillery cannons that they use, like an anti-tank missile, no, an anti-aircraft missile, and they all just turned out to be complete fucking nonsense. I'd say if you were a
Yeah,
journalist,
wasn't it like they appeared on like the Chinese Onion or something like that?
oh, was it
that-
something like that?
I think so. Yeah, it was like a Chinese satirical
Wait, do
website
they
or
have
something like that.
satirical websites in China if the media is all state?
Well, I think they must do, but like the underground or whatever.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Onion here is like forefront, and most of the time people get confused with the Onion for actually really news. Whereas
Yeah,
over
Jack Warner did that.
Yeah,
Did he?
basically used it as a quote, didn't he?
Yeah,
oh,
was
he
like,
did, yeah.
proof that America are conspiring against me, and held up an article from the Onion, which is like something you would see on the Onion.
On the Onion, yeah.
Did you find out any movies from 2008 that were Oscar worthy, Jack?
They're all shit.
Are they?
Good.
All shit. No one really won.
Every single movie in 2008 was
Are you
awful.
gonna name us any at all, or just all
There was
shit?
Wall-E.
Okay, that's literally like the 75th greatest movie of all time.
But Wall-E
It's
can't
got-
win anything for best supporting actor.
Slumdog Millionaire, Indiana Jones. Tropic Thunder was good. That year.
Twilight. Okay.
No.
Just
Tropic
the
Thunder.
silence speaks volumes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Tropic Thunder was brilliant.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. almost won an Oscar for parodying actors who only take roles that will get them an Oscar. That's great. I love it when people just categorically miss the point like that. Like, they just don't get the joke at all. It's Tropic Thunder is a really good movie because it's actually a really clever comedy, but it's disguised as a stupid comedy, so it pleases pretty much everybody. But then some people don't find it funny at all, and there's obviously no help for those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love comedies that are ridiculously clever but are stupid, if that makes sense. Like Step Brothers is a genius. It's a genius comedy, but it's stupid, if that makes sense. It's not like Dumb and Dumber stupid, like but it's like there's a higher level of stupid. If
I've
that
never
makes
watched Step Brothers because I'm just so over Will Ferrell now. Like, he just needs to stop. You know?
Well, he's got
Stop.
a very specific fan group now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And it is just
It's,
Like,
it's
his-
very hard to not hate the figurehead of Twitter parody accounts who literally just steals
Yeah.
jokes and tweets them and gets thousands of retweets. And
because he's like Willie Ferrell or whatever. Yeah.
not Will Ferrell. Parody.
Yeah.
Like, we should talk about how nobody knows what a parody is anymore.
Yeah.
Like, every single Twitter account, like John Terry parody, and then like it's a John Terry parody account. Like, fair enough if that's what you're going for. There is some maybe jokes to be made out of that haven't been exhausted thus far. But like, if you're a John Terry account and you just tweet jokes from Wikipedia, like, you're not parodying anything.
No.
That's not what parody is. You don't get to do that. Like, you have to stay in the character that you're going for. It's
Like the boring James Milner account actually works.
yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it's a parody as much as it's just a persona, but
Yeah.
that's
But then
kinda-
if it called it parody James Milner, then that would be a perfectly fine parody account. Yeah.
the problem is when like you literally someone will retweet something, but then you'll go onto it and it will be parody, but there's people replying to them as if they're normal, even though in their bio it just says parody right there.
There are people who legitimately think that boring James Milner is actual James Milner. Lots of Man City fans have unfollowed him because he's transferred to Liverpool.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, I noticed
Aw.
this on Twitter this morning, because this morning, it's Thursday morning for those of you listening, when well, it's Thursday evening now, but this morning was Thursday morning, and,
Wow.
yeah, the news of the transfer, like, being completed had come onto Twitter, and James Milner was trending and everything, and boring James Milner tweeted, I've spoken to
Some
Brendan
shit.
Rodgers. Yeah, whatever. They're all the exact same tweet with a few words changed. But yeah, just so many people. If you search boring James Milner on Twitter, you'd find City fans angrily tweeting him and stuff, and it was just really, really funny. Like, one guy was like, "Oh, I just don't need to follow him anymore. Now he's gone to Liverpool," and all. It's like you don't know what you're actually doing here, and that's
I don't understand people who don't get that sort of thing though.
I know.
There's so many people who don't get how things work. Like simple things as well, just like that we just laugh at them because they're so stupid. But how do they like wake up in the morning and not fall down?
That's like with my. Did you guys see my women in FIFA 16 video?
Yeah.
No.
Like, the fucking comments on that, where like I explained exactly what I meant and why. Like, I think I explained every point pretty clearly.
Yeah,
But
you did.
the comments were just, yeah, but what about this? And it's like, well, I've explained that. Yeah, but what about this? Like I said in the video, it's not that they're adding women instead of improving career mode. Those things are in no way mutually exclusive. And then the comments
They're
were
adding
all,
women because they should.
yeah, but the comments were all, oh, I just think
Oh,
they
the
should focus
state.
on career mode. It's like,
The
shut up!
the status on the people on Twitter though about go to the kitchen or something and
Yeah, the kitchen jokes really fucking just are so tired. Like, I don't think that was ever actually fun. Like, I don't even think when I was younger that kitchen jokes like that were funny. Like, I don't remember there ever being a time in my life where my friends made fun of women for going to the. I'm not saying it's a problem of modern society. I'm just saying it's never been funny.
no.
Like, I've never laughed at stuff like that.
I think the only thing I laughed at is someone who I can't remember who it was, but he said, "Imagine playing career mode, scout this 16-year-old girl, and just get arrested and the game just finished."
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
you'll allow it. That's in.
Yes.
It's in the podcast.
Yeah. Now, something that might not make it into the podcast. Speaking of women, did you guys hear about Caitlyn Jenner?
We did.
I think it's hard not to, isn't it?
Yeah. She is the fastest celebrity to reach 1 million followers.
Oh, yeah, Obama did it. The
I'm
fastest.
still trying.
Like, a
I
month
don't know
ago.
why I said it that way. Like, as if she can run really fast and also reach 1 million followers.
Well, she could run really fast years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, that's true. She is an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah.
She won the wrestling medal with a broken freaking neck, isn't that correct?
Yeah, she's Caitlyn Jenner is Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Yeah, Did you see Fox News' coverage of this?
No, but I'm sure it was
don't know.
respectful.
They constantly referred to her as a he and said, "Oh well, that's how angry I am." They said, "Oh, this is just the era that we live in. It's like Rome in its final days and all." And it's like imagine being so fucking ignorant. Like, people think that she has literally just done this for the laugh. Do you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's as if she woke up and thought, I want more money, I'm going to be a woman now. Like, that's not how the world works.
To be honest, if you wanted more money, there are so many more ways to go about it than being like, "Yep, I'm transgender now."
For
That's
an
the way I'm
Olympic
gonna make
gold
money.
medalist with an
Yeah.
affiliation to the most popular and profitable family in the world to think,
Yeah.
how can I make more money?
More money, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. Like, think about it. Like, do you want to be a woman? No, probably not. So therefore, you don't really. It's not as simple as, oh, I'll make money by becoming like it. Just fucking. I don't get why people. So many people are just being like, oh, it's so weird. Like, how do you expect to ever get past that if that's your opinion of it? Like, are you
Yeah.
happy to just Are you happy to just saddle it as something very weird and then move on and just think, oh well, that's very fucking weird? Like, it's a thing that's happening like all over the world and becoming more publicized and normalized.
It doesn't stop it being weird because it is weird, I think. But if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
I don't know. Like, that weird is the word. Like, I think of the whole thing as just being really sad that this person lived in such an uncomfortable sort of situation for so long. Like that, I think that's pretty sad. Like, that's like, only now is it okay for her to be who she actually wants to be. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that must have been pretty difficult. Funny that she named or spelled her name with no K as well.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's easier for someone in a position like that or worse, you know, because they're so famous. Whether that it's worse,
You
for a
know,
person to.
I really think that it can be so hard to ignore like negative comments that you read about yourself. Like, I like in my women in FIFA 16 video, for example, most of the people agreed with what I was saying. Like, that video did really well. The comment section was very.
But I suppose you don't look at the good comments.
It's the thing. It's a good comment is like, great video, man, well done, agree with what you said. A bad comment is like, all right, listen up, you
A paragraph or
motherfucker.
two paragraphs.
This
Yeah.
is why you are the scum of the earth, and this is what's wrong with you. Like, a negative comment just is so much more like, it cuts you to the bone a lot more than something like, great video, man. Like, not that the positive comments aren't incredible, because they are, but it's the negative ones that just kind of.
Go on and on. Yeah.
I think you could let them get to you. Like, I'm at a stage now where I really just don't give a fuck. Because if someone comments something negative, like, I'll just reply with something that puts them down, and then, I think I'm pretty good at arguing my case and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
the only way that people will really get to me is by just being a troll, where they're not arguing anymore. They're just being ridiculous, and they just get blocked anyways. But I think if you're in the public eye and you did something as bold and kind of brave as, like, publicly changing your gender and stuff at such an age as well, you would just read constantly about how you are disgusting and you're sinning, and they're like, this isn't how God intended, and this is a publicity stunt, and this is unnatural, and all stuff like that. Like, I'd say that would get to you eventually.
What was that TV show that got a lot of?
Orange is the New Black.
No, it was to do with transgender, wasn't it, or something like that? And it won a lot of awards at the Emmys and stuff. What was that fucking TV show?
I don't know. Wasn't there a movie called Boys Don't Cry? I think with Hilary Swank, possibly. That was.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was...
Transparent, wasn't it? Transparent is the TV show with the guy from Arrested Development playing a woman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it won like a bunch of Emmys, I think, and stuff. Like, he definitely won an Emmy for the role.
I never even heard of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
like my favorite punk. Well, pretty much one of my favorite albums from 2014 was Transgender Dysphoria Blues by Against Me, and their lead singer is a woman, like a trans woman, Laura Jane Grace, and that album is fucking incredible. Like, it's an amazing punk rock album, and that's like a kind of all about the transition and all of the fears and just everything associated with the whole process, and it does seem pretty fucking brutal, like, to just have to live with. So I don't know. I don't really see why people want to, like, give out about it either. I don't really see why it's a problem for people, you know?
Well, you pretty much said it in your video. It doesn't like the whole point of your video about women in football in FIFA, sorry, was it doesn't fucking affect you.
Yeah.
And that's the same here. Like, all that stuff, it doesn't affect anyone.
Yeah.
Like, even if it is just, even if Caitlyn Jenner is just doing it to get money for the TV show and Kardashians and whatever, even that shouldn't affect you.
Yeah.
Like, what difference does it make even if she's doing it for that? Which she's not, clearly, because that would be ridiculous, but...
There's,
yeah.
like, definitely something in, like, people don't really realize how kind of inherently sexist a lot of the culture is. Like, with the FIFA 16 video and the people being like, yeah, I just don't get why they're adding women, because it's profitable and there's an audience for it. Yeah, but why not focus on something else? Because they can also focus on something else while doing this. This doesn't.
Well, because the game isn't about you.
Yeah,
you know, it's not about you. If you don't want to play as the female characters in FIFA 16, don't. You know, it's not. The game isn't made just for you. It's made for everyone. You know, so yeah, it's just.
And they're still just like, yeah, but I just don't get why. Like, you don't have to get
To
why.
get why, yeah, exactly. It's the same as the Fantastic Four thing. It's like, I don't get why the guy Johnny Storm is black, and you're like, well, it's not for you, you silly asshole.
To be fair, I would go out of my way to say that if Johnny Storm, a man who is literally a combustible element who takes the form of pure fire, if it's a problem to you that he's black, then you can just fuck off and watch a different movie. Like, go and watch The Birth of a Nation and talk about how many Oscars that movie won. Like, just shut the fuck up about everything if that's... The same with that guy, Childish Gambino, being cast as Spider-Man. Like, oh, but Spider-Man can't be black. Like, give over. Shut up. How is this a problem for people in 2015?
But a man can be half spider. But he definitely can't be black.
Yeah, a man can shoot webs out of his wrists. But not a black man. Black man can't do that.
Ridiculous.
Should we talk about the elephant in the room?
Jack, yeah.
Should we address the elephant?
What is the elephant?
I don't know. I just think it's a funny thing to say because it always makes me think of like an elephant, like a room where there's a family sitting on a sofa and the wall is just obliterated and there's an elephant just standing there.
It's like hiding behind a tiny tree.
Yeah.
It's like kicking the floor. Tomlinson is not there, like whistling.
We gonna we gonna talk about that thing. There's two things.
You got to tell us the thing.
Well, I can't really say it around you.
Yeah.
Me and Liz Moore will cover it after and put it in. The Alton Towers accident, crash.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty fucked up, yo.
Yeah, it is.
You guys hear about
you
this?
think this day and age there really should be, why was the security not in place for that to not happen?
Yeah.
Well, it was in place, wasn't it? Because you basically, like, carriage. Is it a carriage that they're on? They call it a carriage, don't they?
It's a carriage, yeah. The latest I read, though, was that the... see, there are so many safety procedures in place. So, like, say, for example, another carriage comes loose, then the system is in place so that the one that's moving will stop. Like, there's so many safety features on it. But one of the things I think that happened was that the other carriage stalled on the track because there was a change in the wind direction, which initiated another safety feature, and that made it stop. So that's what fucked it up. I think it was that there were too many safety features.
Rather they overlapped and then got confused by the wind.
I think that's what happened, yeah. And it's really fucked up. For those of you who don't know, Alton Towers is a resort, like a theme park, an amusement park in England.
It's like Disneyland, but without Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, it's like Disneyland, but shit.
Shit.
But there's a ride on it called the Smiler, which is a gigantic roller coaster type deal, and a carriage carrying so many people crashed into an empty carriage at 20 miles an hour, I think. And it caused one person, I think, has lost a leg. I don't know if that's true or not because I read it in the Daily Mail and the word leg was capitalized.
Potentially lost a leg.
Yeah, potentially lost a leg. And
Well, I think they were talking about Princess Diana.
Well, she lost her head.
Princess Diana has died.
Yeah.
I think she lost her head, not a leg.
Oh
Jesus.
Jesus.
You just realised what you've said.
So
how are you not that all the time?
Let's address the real elephant in the room.
God
Can
bless.
jet fuel melt steel beams?
They can and have done.
What?
But yeah, so like one of the victims has a collapsed lung and a fractured leg. Like it's serious shit what happened. Like it's pretty bad. I guess like the best way, like I don't like roller coasters anyway.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I've like that's not my thing. But like now, I'm especially not going to go on one, and I know why that's stupid because I fly a lot, and when a plane crashes, I don't stop flying. But with this, it seems different somehow because this is my fear that I have. So
like the ultimate outcome when you get on a plane is that you go somewhere new and it's exciting. The difference between that and getting on a roller coaster is that when you get on the roller coaster and it's finished, you end up in the same place you were before you got on. So you've actually done nothing.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, You've
That
just
seems like
scared the
that
shit
seems like
out of
the
yourself for no reason.
weirdest point anyone's ever made. I
Yeah,
think.
it does. Yeah, because it's like, what's the point? You know, you didn't even do
Yeah,
anything. So.
you end up at the same place.
Yeah, but that's true.
That was strange.
Well, like, what's the point in skydiving? You just
Exactly.
You end up back on the floor.
Oh, so
You
you
would-
would never skydive?
No, you're in a plane. You might as well just continue going to where that plane lands and be in that place. There's something
lands
new
in the
there
same
you've probably
place.
never been.
That
What?
lands in skydiving. The plane lands in the same place it took off.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Well, then the fun part is just being in a flying plane.
A flying plane.
Yeah,
Oh, rather than
As opposed
just
to
sitting
one
in
of
a
those-
plane that's not moving.
land planes.
Some call them cars.
Ah, cars. Yeah.
Great movie.
Disney did well with that one. Yeah,
That wasn't Disney.
Okay.
wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was.
Oh.
Ah, my chair is one of those, you know, the officey chairs that you can lean back on and it adjusts as the position of your back.
Right.
And I have, like, it's broken in some way now.
Right.
Full story.
But while I fix this, I'm gonna need you guys to carry on with the podcast.
Jack.
Podcast stuff. Podcast
Now
stuff.
here, look. Would
If
you
we
go?
just yell podcast really loudly, that's it.
Would you be willing to go on a roller coaster in spite of this?
Yeah, of course I would.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna stop me.
Are you a roller coaster kind of guy?
Yeah.
Have you
Bah,
ever
jacking
like
it.
done cocaine on a roller coaster?
No. That's a good idea though. But it's not. But it is. I
Could
think
you do cocaine on like with gravity and stuff as you go through the loops? Could you actually like?
Like if you while you're upside down, just sort of hold it in the air.
Yeah.
And as you swoop back round, it then just goes up your nose. So.
Yeah. It's possible, isn't it?
No. No.
Yeah. Apparently, this roller coaster though had the most loops in it, didn't it? Or in the world or something.
What?
Or
The
in
Alton
Europe.
Towers one?
Yeah, it had like 14 loops, which is like more than something. I think we're making a big deal out of it anyway, like saying that it had the most. I think it's loops. I think they said loops, but who knows? Because
I hope it was loops and not like tracks.
Yeah.
Something really boring.
Presumably that's why they're making a big deal out of it. Because I mean, surely roller coasters go wrong.
I
Like-
think they're making a big deal out of it because someone has potentially lost a leg.
Right.
I mean, you
Yeah.
don't hear about that often, do you?
No, but I mean, if you read about the ride, there's Smiler, it's called, isn't it? I don't know
Yeah,
why it's
the
called the
Smiler.
Smiler. But yeah, there's been a lot of problems with it. None obviously as severe as somebody losing their leg, but it's been like, you know, taken. It took a while for it to be finished, and then they like suspended it for a couple of days because like a bolt came off or something.
Yeah, that's fucked up. It's pretty much like roller coasters are one of the ultimate fear things. That's why they're such a thrill to actually go on. Like knowing that, like if you were going there's no way you'd fucking go on that. Well, there's no way I'd go on that now. But
I
again,
would.
if it was a Ryanair plane, I'd still fly. So I don't really know what I'm getting at. You know.
It's like with this whole like Air Malaysia thing, or Malaysia Air, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like they're going down the fucking drain because people aren't using them anymore. But the people that aren't using them anymore are just using Air Asia instead. It's like it's just weird.
The chances of a plane crashing are so low as well.
But then surely the chances of a plane crashing part of the same network of planes that has already crashed is like far greater than. In fact, you should be using Air Malaysia, shouldn't you? Because in terms of like the chance that another one will go down.
Yeah, but like, didn't one of them go missing and then another one got blown out of the sky by Russian separatists?
Well, that's two different issues, isn't it? There's nothing
It's
wrong
two
with.
planes though.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with the second plane. You know, obviously there might have been something wrong with the first plane because it went missing. They couldn't find it.
I
But
think
the second
there was
time,
something wrong with it, that it was flying over a fucking war zone.
that was...
Like, I don't know. Flying, I don't know. It's a strange world. Roller
Yeah,
coasters are unsafe. Planes get shot out of the sky. Elephants exist in rooms. Like,
Yeah. I don't get it.
no.
Women in football, good lord.
But I'd happily go back onto that same ride.
Would you?
Yeah.
How you go on roller coasters like a lot?
No, but I've been to Florida twice. I've been to Fort Park a few times.
But what if you'd gone on that ride during when those people were on that ride and it crashed, Jack? Would you go on it again knowing that it crashed and you were on it when it crashed?
Well, no, but that's the same thing as people who don't get into a plane after it crashes and they survive.
If I was on a plane and it crashed, I don't think I'd be as happy with flying.
That's true.
It is true.
Should we talk about FIFA? This whole FIFA thing.
Is that the elephant that's in the room?
No, the elephant that's in the room is the jet fuel and steel beams issue.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I could spend so long talking about 9/11 conspiracy theorists and how wrong they are.
Shouldn't we just save that for a podcast, like 50 or something?
Yeah, let's
We could do a big. I was going to say big explosive episode, but
Will expose someone.
We'll find someone's Twitter account and piece by piece we'll tear them apart. So Sepp Blatter has stepped down. That's all.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, it has to be. There's no way this solves all of the corruption within the organization, but I think the fact that it's sparked an investigation means that I am talking in rhyme right now. So
it would just be someone else, maybe not as corrupt, but someone who's
I
corrupt.
think the FBI are really onto something there, so I don't think they're gonna give up.
Yeah, I don't think it's just going to be a case of someone else kind of just as corrupt coming in and replacing him. I think if they do it, football or people involved with football will make them properly reform the whole thing, won't they? I don't think that someone else is going to come in and it's going to be like Sepp Blatter in a fake nose and glasses and he's just coming back in.
I'm Mr. Snrub.
Yeah, I'm Mr. Pep Flatter.
Step ladder.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, come right this way, Mr. Ladder. No, yeah, I don't think it's going to be the same. I think, I don't really understand why he ran for the presidency. Because surely if he'd known the FBI were looking into this whole thing and made, that Chuck Blazer guy had, blown his whistle or whatever.
It must have been something that came out, the last couple of days.
Yeah, but he mustn't have thought that the thing that he didn't think was going to come out must have come out.
Yeah, I think because they got tighter and tighter on that Jack Warner guy, he seems to be at the center of a lot of it because he was originally no, nothing is illegal here, and now he's all right, sit down, I'll tell you everything.
Well, now, he came out today and said he fears for his life, so he's gone from being nothing wrong with now I think I'm going to be murdered.
Yeah, it is a bit fucked up, but Sepp Blatter apparently doesn't actually resign officially until December, is that right?
Well, until FIFA do their
second election thing, yeah.
Yeah. And he said he's going to keep on with his duties until then.
It's going to be really interesting to read the trail, everything about what they were doing behind the scenes.
It's one of the things where they'll bring out the FBI or whoever does it will bring out a 300-page document, and I will read every single word of it just because I want to see what happened.
Yeah.
Someone could there'd have been a film about it or something, wouldn't there?
You'd hope so.
Or clearly the
guitar
thing, the guitar thing. No, the Qatar.
Qatar.
Yeah.
You know it's actually pronounced Qatar.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Qatar.
Its actual pronunciation is Qatar, I swear to God.
Yeah, it is.
It's just that seems so wrong.
I think that's the thing that sparked it, because that was such people kind of understood Russia, I guess, even though it's rampant homophobia and all the things that are wrong with Russia. But the Qatar thing was the thing are you sure? There's why,
I don't actually find things like that to be too offensively wrong. The Qatar thing didn't strike me as particularly crazy because, Korea-Japan was an amazing World Cup. And
the best for years, that was.
Yeah, and that's not a particularly World Cup-y kind of a destination. I don't know. That kind of thing doesn't really bother me.
It didn't surprise me because
the location
they've been saying for years we want to take it to different countries because every year it's let's do Mexico, USA, but 3 countries in Europe, Australia maybe, and then an Asian. It's just usually fairly obvious countries to do it in.
Yeah.
But then
but I think the thing with Qatar, Japan has got what 70 million people in it, and Korea's pretty similar, I think.
Qatar's got 1.5.
Yeah, it's got 1.5 million people. Like, there's more people in fucking London than there is in Qatar. You
They
know.
reckon there's going to be more tourists over there than there are people who live there when the
Yeah.
World Cup's on.
Crazy.
And that's one where they talk about the migrant workers coming over to work on the stadiums at the building. Obviously, all these people dying doing so.
That's fucked.
It's because they genuinely don't have enough people living in Qatar that can like just start working on building stadiums. You know.
Yeah.
It's like,
That's obviously the bit that's wrong, that they're taking people's passports away,
yeah.
so they can't leave the country, or there's been like 2,500 deaths or something, isn't there?
Yeah, and they reckon by the time the World Cup comes along, it might be
It'll
like
be
close to 4,000 or 5,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably not gonna be held there now, you'd imagine.
It wouldn't surprise if it, like, they wouldn't ask for the money back. Like, oh, can we get the money from bribes back, please? Like, we paid you 10 million here. Can we just have that back?
Yeah.
I can't see the World Cup being held there, but I can see the Russia one definitely going ahead because it's too short notice now to.
Nah, the
Russia
Russian
they
ones
do,
will-
because they're a country that actually can facilitate a World Cup.
Yeah, the stadiums are in place, aren't they? I mean,
Brazil-
they have a working league. I don't even think Qatar has a league, a football league, does it? I mean, I'm not sure.
Brazil was slightly different because the people who lived there just didn't want it. Because of all the things they could spend billions on, that was not what they should have been doing.
Generally, you don't want things like the Olympics or a world. Like, you don't want that drain on your economy because that's ultimately what it is. Like, you'd imagine that hosting the World Cup is a really good thing because you're going to get so much tourism money and things like that. But the World Cup and the Olympics is the reason that the Brazilian economy is not going to recover for I don't know how long. And it was the same, like, I'm pretty sure that Greece held the Olympics in the build-up
2004?
to, yeah, in the same year they won the Euros, yeah. In the build-up to them being pretty much, like, the most bankrupt country in all of Europe at the moment. Like, all of those things, it costs too much to host things like that.
But the problem is a lot of those countries don't have stadiums ready for a World Cup, so they have to build, like, I don't know, 15 stadiums.
That's why England.
Whereas we, obviously, all the Americans
England are
say,
first on the list for like
Yeah.
reserve World Cups.
But England
Yeah.
isn't even ready for it at all. Like, I read the...
How many stadiums do you need?
You need, I think... What did you say, Lismore?
it's 18, isn't it?
It's 18 stadiums, right? But only 2 of them can be in the same city. So that changes it a lot because in London, obviously, you've got the Olympic Stadium, you've got Wembley, you've got the Emirates.
But I think if it came to the point of, oh, this country's fucked up, can you do the World Cup? The whole cities thing won't make a difference whatsoever.
I don't know. I think there's something like.
I think I think we could easily do it, to be honest, if we did it as a Britain, if like Scotland, Wales, and that got involved, or even we like did it as
Yeah, because
Britain,
you'd
Ireland.
have Hampden and you'd have the Millennium Stadium.
Exactly,
There'd be
yeah.
some
And even
ones
if we
that
include
close.
Ireland in it as well.
There'd be some ones that are close because obviously you'd have the final at Wembley, but then could you have another game in London? So next would be the Emirates, wouldn't it?
Or what about the Olympic Stadium?
Yeah, true, that'd be done by then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it will
By
be.
2022.
Yeah. But that's still not as big as the Emirates. I
Right.
suppose it's more of an iconic thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would have thought so. It's more
Then
of
you got to Old Trafford, but then you got the city of Manchester as well.
Well, you've got Sunderland, Newcastle, you've got
No.
Anfield, you've got
Leeds,
Leeds, yeah.
Birmingham.
No, I don't. No, I don't think that they meet the criteria. I'm pretty sure that there's only something like 6 stadiums outside of London that actually meet the standards that are being set by FIFA.
But I reckon something like, I suppose Hillsborough might not.
Yeah, I don't think so. No.
39,000.
Yeah, I think it has to be 45 or something like that.
Yeah, that's why I think if you included it as a British and Ireland World Cup hosting bid, we'd quite clearly make it, I think.
Nah, you can do it. We don't want any part of it. Take your fucking corruption elsewhere. Speaking of which, John Delaney came out today and said that Sepp Blatter gave him 5 million for the Thierry Henry handball incident in 2009, I want to say.
Yeah, it was. 'Cause it was 2010 World Cup, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ireland against France in Paris, and it was 1-1, and Henry handled the ball, which led to France scoring and overcoming a penalty shootout. But yeah, he just
I just like the image of Blatter in the crowd as that happening, handing over like a brown paper bag of cash.
No,
Just-
it's more like John Delaney,
Just-
like knocking at his door, being like, "Blatter, you cunt, get out here!"
Yeah.
Like, we need to talk about this Henri
Fucking
thing.
fight me.
And
Yeah,
then-
he's got his phone out.
We'll
It's
have
like
a
a
fight.
gif on his phone of Henri putting the ball in it.
Yeah, and then Blatter
Yeah.
just coming out and being like, "Oh, here, will 5 million shut you up?" And him being like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I'll give you 5
Yeah, your
million, you should
economy
never
was so in the
talk about it."
toilet. It just
Yeah, but yeah,
They originally had it down as like a loan, didn't they? And then
Yeah,
didn't
supposedly.
the FAI get into like financial trouble and they just sort of wrote it off.
yeah.
Yeah, they just wrote off like FIFA's so corrupt. They just write off 5 million as like, you know.
Shut the fuck up,
Food.
money is what
Yes.
it is. That's exactly what it is.
That's what it's written down
It's
as in
the
a paper.
FU.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Jack?
Nothing.
No, it's clearly something racist.
I'm trying to cover it up. I don't know. I don't think I said anything bad. I
Oh,
think I said
yeah.
anything good either.
You're cutting out a lot.
Am I?
Yeah.
Even my laptop's trying to stop me being racist.
Yeah, I don't think I want to know what it was. But Richard Keys to be the next
President, yeah.
president of FIFA, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's
Clearly,
the president
I
of
mean-
America.
Next president of America.
Yeah. He's the next Republican candidate. Hey, he's the next FIFA president candidate.
The Republican FIFA
Miliband.
president candidate.
Yeah.
I promise.
Get Miliband in.
Miliband. That guy has...
That'd be.
He's like a black hole from which charisma is sucked out of.
I'm just gonna Google Richard Key's quote on women and then
Oh, Jesus.
see what comes up.
40 billion results.
In 0.27 seconds. They've just announced, by the way, that the FBI inquiry now includes the 2014 Brazil World Cup. So it's pretty much nobody is without sin, I think.
Didn't they see the World Cup in '98 was being?
Yeah,
the
by
bribes
Platini, yeah.
going
Platini,
back that long.
Yeah,
It's crazy, isn't it?
it's mental.
The thing is, like, Blatter actually voted against Qatar, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah, and
So, proof that
Platini
he
voted.
Yeah,
Platini
Platini voted for it. Yeah.
And his kid got a job with a guitar company afterwards. Not a guitar company, like someone who makes guitars, but Qatarian.
I'd love
I
it
don't
if he
think-
got a job in a guitar company and it had nothing to do with the conversation.
and his dad went, "What? I got your job in a guitar company, mate."
That was just not good enough for you, you lily. Did you find any Richard Keys quotes on women?
Yeah.
His autobiography.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
wait,
have you guys seen the fucking... you know Tim Lovejoy?
Yes, he's used to be funny.
Yeah, well, he's a fucking cunt. But have you seen his quotes on women?
No.
The dude
Nope.
is like mentally ill, I think. Let me try and find it. It's on my Twitter.
He used to be quite funny when, like, well, so did Soccer AM, I suppose.
Yeah, but if you remember, like, Soccer AM when Tim Lovejoy hosted was like 10, 12 years ago, like, we were like 10 at the time, so maybe we thought it was funny because we were like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't think, like, I remember the night that Barca knocked Chelsea out of Europe when Abidal got sent off, and no one ever remembers that happening because a Chelsea player also got sent off, and that's an outrage. But it was the night that Barca cheated Chelsea out of Europe. Remember that?
Yeah.
They did that, didn't they? I don't like Chelsea, but
Well, like, if Abidal gets sent off as well, they hardly fucking cheated anybody, did they?
Oh, yeah,
they,
I
had
suppose,
to go,
yeah.
they had to go into the final
is that
year
where
with fucking Silvino at left back.
Drogba had a meltdown?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
This is an outrage,
But
or something like that.
he was on the fucking that 5 Live thing he used to be on after, and he was like, I hope Man United destroy Barca. I hope Rooney and Ferdinand score. And it's like, you're such a prick. But I can't find the quote that I had was in my Twitter favorites, and it seems to have been deleted. But he said about women, he was like, he had a football that was signed by Rivaldo, and he was kicking it out his back garden or something, and his daughter, his, like, I don't know, 6-year-old daughter picked it up and washed the Rivaldo signature off it, and he was like, oh, why did you do that? And she was like, oh, because the ball was dirty, so I cleaned it for you. And he was like, now I'm not even mad at her for doing that, but I just wonder if it was my son instead of my daughter, would he have even bothered cleaning it at all? Like, would he have even worried about that? Right? That's a really weird quote. And then the next thing he said was that he knows for a fact that when women are walking onto a football pitch, that they're going to get chants from guys saying "get your tits out" and all that fucking lad banter.
It did say that women should wear tighter shorts, didn't he?
No, he said that because they know that guys are going to chant that, that's why they dress provocatively, which is like right up there with, oh well, women get raped because they wear short skirts. Like, it's like such a fucking victim blaming complex.
Well, it's just small-mindedness on the part of, like, they don't see beyond.
It's
certain
really
things,
sinister though. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot be publicizing an opinion like that, because the next extreme from that opinion is that rape is the victim's fault. Like, that is the next thing that comes out of that statement. And that's what he's saying, is that, like, yeah, women love all the attention from lads, that's why they dress in heels and wear lipstick. Like, it's basically saying, like, yeah, women are sluts. Like, it's so fucking, ever since I read that quote, I've just thought of him as just a disgusting person. Like, before he was just kind of a harmless idiot, like a Jack Wilshere type. And now, I just think of him as this really horrible, like, vile human being.
Yeah, the Richard Keys quote that somebody quoted again. He said apparently on Karen Brady, is she the West Ham chief executive or something like that? She was apparently yeah, scum. She was apparently complaining about sexism in football, and obviously about, you know, the stuff going on with FIFA and the women in football and stuff. And apparently in the past, Richard Keys' quote on women sexism in football was "Do me a favour, love," which is like,
it's just comical levels of fucking idiocy.
It's like the 1950s. It's
it is.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
so, like, I just love how whenever, like the Fantastic Four thing, or like Donald Glover becoming Spider-Man, or like anything about women and discrimination and anything about, like, the people who are kind of on the receiving end of it, when it's a white man coming out and saying, ah, shut up, it's not that bad, it's like, do you know how fucking stupid, like, that, you know how literally irrelevant your opinion is? Like, you have no idea what it's like. It's just so, I don't know, it's baffling that it kind of keeps happening without any, like, repercussions and stuff. Like, you see, like, even those, like, Republican candidates that are running in America, and stuff keeps coming out about everybody, like, who said what, who said this sexist thing. They never learn from things when they say that, like politicians and types like that. They just think that, oh, it's a media smear campaign, like, they're just coming at me for saying the truth. I'm the only one left who's gonna say what's on my mind.
They don't think, oh, maybe I should stop saying this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't think that maybe what I'm saying is wrong. That doesn't occur to them.
No, it's so weird. Like, I don't know how you couldn't just sort of take yourself out of that egomaniacal persona, like, for a moment, and just think, what if I am actually offending people here? Like, that's the really weird thing, is that people kind of get really angry at people getting offended. It's like, oh, you can't say anything nowadays. It's like, why don't you just stop offending people? Like, you can say things without being offensive, you know?
Yeah, or just don't say anything.
I remember, like, this one time on Imager, there was this picture of a child with a really, like, modern looking haircut, not like a Macklemore type, but it was like spiky hair or whatever, and everyone in the comment section was like, oh, this kid's a fucking dickhead, like, I would happily beat this kid up and all. And I commented on it saying, I don't get why people are being angry about a 5-year-old's haircut. And my comment got voted really high up, and all of the other comments started getting voted down. And this one guy who was like the leader of the I will kick the shit out of this child guy, he was like, oh yeah, I'm just a cunt. That's right, yeah, I'm just a bad person. I'm gonna beat up a child for doing this. Like, and he commented like 50 times saying, like, the dude had a meltdown because people thought that what he said was offensive. And it's like, maybe you shouldn't have threatened to beat up a child, and then you wouldn't be so mad about people, like, being offended by you. So,
yeah, I don't know why in the first place you'd think to comment on a picture of a child with a haircut.
Yeah, I know.
It's
to
just
say
like,
that you're going to beat up a child is kind of a big deal to a lot of people. Like, I don't know. I find that like Reddit and Imager as a community really dislike children, and they dislike sort of when people point out how sexist video games are, they really dislike that. And,
right.
Like, I find that there's kind of a growing yawn and sigh every time someone mentions that to them. They're like, no, we're the ones that are right. I don't know.
I mean, obviously, that's the opposite to Facebook, because Facebook is full of pictures of people commenting on children saying, "Oh, how lovely," and Reddit is obviously the place where you comment on children saying, "Get a fucking life" or whatever.
Yeah. Facebook is the place where everyone comments and says, I don't hate black people, but, and then something that is obnoxiously
Disgustingly racist. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, Facebook is mothers commenting on pictures of babies and people being obnoxiously racist.
Facebook is like where you used to have to spend a week living with somebody to find out how much of a horrible person they truly are, but now you just look at their Facebook and see what they say
Yeah.
about issues and stuff like that. Facebook is where every Muslim who works in a corner shop refuses to serve any English soldier coming back from the war in their full uniform. That only ever happens on Facebook, it seems.
Yeah.
Very strange. Give soldiers Facebook wages.
Yeah.
Give soldiers fucking something.
Nailed it.
Give soldiers Facebook.
Are you happy with what you've just did?
Not really.
Yeah. Is
Are you
that
gonna
all the
put-
things in the world?
We just discussed everything that's ever happened.
Do you think?
Yeah, I'm just like thinking about it. Like Alton Towers, yep, done that.
Oh, soldiers, yeah.
Jack, have you mentioned that you're going to put anyone in a coffin yet?
Soldiers.
Soldiers going in a coffin, right?
We can't put that in. We
tick
can't
that
put that in. We
Why
can't
can't you
put
put
that
that in?
in. I don't know. It seems so ridiculous.
But that's what they sign up for.
I think they do.
They actually do sign up for that.
Yeah.
No
Sign
one
up.
goes to war expecting
Me
to
to
lose.
do it.
That's not
The
true.
fact is, somebody in a war is going in a coffin.
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly, no one thinks it about like that. But yeah.
Oh, I know another thing we can talk about. In Texas, they have legalized your right to carry guns in the street. Just walking around with a
Really?
gun. Yeah. And Vince Vaughn agrees with it, and he says trying to ban guns is like trying to ban forks.
Did you hear him say that you should have guns in schools as well?
Oh yeah, well how else are they going to defend themselves? You know?
Yeah.
We need more
How
guns.
else?
Yeah. So stupid.
I saw someone say once that teachers should have guns,
Yeah.
and then I saw it on a stand-up once, and he said something like, "Remember the teacher, who you had for like one lesson, and she cried because like she hated her job. It's like give her a gun."
She cried because Jack Brown locked her in a fucking closet.
Yeah. give her
That
a
story
gun.
would be so much more epic if she shot her way out of the closet.
It's basically the start of like a sci-fi movie or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to fix
Well, we should just probably just end the podcast then. I don't know.
Darling, it's so dark in this house, except for this light, my slow candle burning, and I know you're somewhere. I always did feel it. I got a new song you might never hear. Good night, Irene. I got your trouble. I read your letters. You sent like a bomb. And when you're gone, we're all gonna miss you. Your perfume like cigarettes and the sea. My name that you always wore like grief. Good night, sinners, the voice of the dogs you find in the rain. So I just keep working, I just keep driving. Nobody writes the blues anymore. Your trouble, I read your letters you sent like a bomb. But when you're gone, we're all gonna miss you. Your perfume like cigarettes and the sea, my name that you always wore like grief. And in my mind there's a dream when the telephone rang just before the ring took a bow and landed her hand in a closet where white dresses hang, while eyes declaring war. Good night, Irene, I got your trouble. I read your letters you sent like a bomb. And when you're gone, we're all gonna miss you.